And our recording is going, you guys. Welcome in Wellness Week, Day 3. My name is Kristy. I will be your yoga instructor today. I'm going to be starting in child's pose. You can start in a pose that's comfortable for you. If you know yoga well, you can do any pose that allows you to kind of get in your yoga headspace. So taking the first few minutes here to just transition, getting into a comfortable position or pose. For you, I'm going to take my socks off. Feel free to go sockless, barefoot. If you were at home, you have a little more flexibility with this. But I see a bunch joining virtually. You guys, we're literally just getting started. If you are just joining, I suggest starting in child's pose. That's where I'm going to be, and that's where we'll kind of take our first few poses from. But if you prefer in these first few moments, these first few minutes, in any other pose, feel free to do that as well. Transitioning from whatever you were just doing in your day to the here and to the now. Leaving all that at the door, focusing on yourself for the next 30 minutes. If you are new to yoga, this child's pose is an incredible pose. It's probably one of my favorites. This is a pose that we can always resort back to if you are in your practice today and you just need a little break, anything like that. This is your child's pose. Forehead is resting on the mat. Your arms are outstretched above you. Elbows are near your ears, near your head. Your knees can be as close together or as wide as you'd like. Feel free to experiment here as well. I want you to recognize where you're breathing into. Are you breathing into your chest? Or are you breathing into your belly? In this pose, it's really easy to know where you're breathing because your belly is going to physically push on the tops of your legs, right? That's where we want our breath to be going. Diaphragmatic breathing. Trying to engage our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest, our relaxed system. Breathing deep in through the nose. Again, letting your belly expand and then out, open mouth, exhale. Now is a great time to set an intention for your practice today. If you are new to yoga, this might be challenging for you. If you practice yoga, you might already have something in mind. But just bring forth an intention that you want to have for the rest of class. Whether that purely means moving your body, whether that's gaining some flexibility, some mobility, whether that's finding some peace, some stillness in your day. Whatever that looks like for you, if you'd like, now's your time. And we're all going to take 3 deep breaths together. So inhaling through the nose, again, letting your belly expand. Exhaling, open mouth, exhale. And 2 more like that at your pace. After your 3rd exhale, we're going to float into tabletop position, quadruped, all fours. However you get there is fine with me. Please take your time. There's no rush. Adjusting your knee position so your knees are stacked under your hips. Wrists are stacked under your shoulders. From here, engaging through your tall, long spine. Your shoulders roll down and back. Your core is engaged. Let's do a few cat-cows. So inhaling, lifting the head, dropping the belly, rolling the shoulders back. On the exhale, rounding out the shoulders, rounding out the back. Chin tucks to the chest. Inhaling and exhaling, using your breath to guide your pace. Lots of mobility in our spine. I love this one. And today we're going to be focusing on our hamstrings and our hips. We had Tom in here say, what did you say, Tom? Your ham? What did you say? Yeah, he said our hips are too loose, said no one ever. It's so funny. So we're gonna work on those today. Do a few more inhales and exhales. We're gonna end on your next exhale, finding your tall, long, neutral spine. From here, we're gonna reach out our right hand and our left leg is gonna extend out behind us into a bird dog. So on the inhale, go ahead and lift. Core stays engaged, right? We're not arching through that back. Your core is engaged. Hips stay level to the floor. We're gonna hold here, building a little heat. Again, just waking up our core, waking up our body. Still using your breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. On your next inhale, I want you to imagine you're lengthening out through your fingertips and through your heel. So really pull. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Core stays tight. On your next exhale, bring your elbow to the knee in the center. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch in the center. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more and even 5. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and replace that hand to the floor. Shake anything out. Adjust if you need to. Re-engage through your core on the inhale, lifting the left hand, reaching the right leg back. Finding the stillness. Again, building a little bit of heat. Watching your hip position so it doesn't float open or upwards. Your core is strong. We've got this. Again, in your next inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And exhale, go ahead, crunch in the center. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, using your breath, guiding your motion. In and exhale. Good. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Awesome work. Shake out your wrists, replace that hand, adjust anything if you need to. Let's head into our first down dog before we get into a little bit of a hip sequence. One of my favorite ones to do. So we're going to tuck those toes under. Fingers are spread nice and wide. We're going to shoot our hips up whenever you're ready on the inhale. Ooh, our first down dog. Now from here, if you have tight hamstrings, you're like, all right, this is enough for me. Regardless, we're going to pedal the feet out if that feels good, or any motions or movements that feel good for you here. Some of us may find some stillness with a deep, deep bend in the knees. That might feel the best for your back, for your hamstrings. Others of you, if you practice yoga a lot, maybe this is a easier pose for you. The beauty of yoga is everyone looks a little different. Once you get those wiggles out, find some stillness, whatever that looks like for you. Pressing those heels down towards the floor, lifting the tailbone up, up, up. Your core is strong, but we're pressing our chest towards the top sides of the thighs. Our shoulders want to shrug up into our ears, release those down and back. Again, fingers are spread nice and wide. First big stretch. Building a little heat in the arms. On your next inhale, we're going to roll your spine into a tall plank. So inhale to roll. Exhale here. We're going to hold this plank for just a moment. You're like, we're supposed to be hamstring and hips. I know. We're going to do core for a little bit. On your next inhale, shoot those hips back up, down dog, inhale. And exhale, right back into your plank. Inhale, pike. Exhale, float back to plank. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift, and find your down dog. I'm going to add a little leg motion into that. So on your next inhale, raise your right leg up towards the sky. 3-legged down dog. On the exhale, we're going to drive our right knee into the chest, into your plank. This is a tough core one. Inhaling back up, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, drive. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drive. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drive. We're going to inhale, lift, and this time on the drive, place that right foot in between your hands. Big step through. We're going to keep our left knee elevated for now. If this is not comfortable for you, that's okay. Drop that left knee to the floor. That's always an option. But if it's accessible to you, keep that left knee up. Hands have as much weight as you need to. From here, you might feel a big left hip flexor stretch already. That's great. We're going to get more into that hip in just a second. Building a little heat in the legs. Common theme. And when you're ready, we're going to drop that left knee to the floor if it's not there already. From here, just sinking into this right leg. So shifting your weight forward. Again, your hands are here for as much support as you need to. This low, low lunge. And we're gonna shift our weight into our left leg and we're gonna straighten through our right leg. So just shift the weight, walk the hands back with it. Big hamstring stretch, hello. Yes, good. For some of us, this is very intense, right? For me, it's very intense. I have tight hamstrings. So my fingertips are on the floor. I'm not truly concerned with how long and tall your spine is here. This is a tough, tough stretch. Some people need to sit all the way up and their hands are on their thighs. That's totally fine. And we're gonna rock and shift our weight back and forth. So go ahead and walk the hands forward into that hip flexor stretch on the left side. And whenever you're ready, walk them back, going into the hamstring stretch on the right. Yep. Now do this at your pace, your tempo, just back and forth. Maybe one pose feels better than the other and you just stick with that one primarily. That's great too. Back and forth. Recognizing what you're feeling in your hips too. Taking note of how this side feels. We're gonna do the other side in a moment. Good work so far. We're all gonna end in that front lunge position. So weight is gonna be in that right leg in this forward position. When you're ready, those left toes are tucked under. Plant through your hands. We're gonna step our right foot back into high plank. So just step it back. Yep. Wrists are stacked with the shoulders. Core is engaged, right? We're tucking those hips up and under. And from here, we're gonna inhale and pike the hips up into your down dog. Now's a good time to rest if you need it. Any movements that feel good for you here. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So go ahead, left foot or leg inhales. On the exhale, drive that knee to the center, plank. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drive. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drive. Inhale, lift. I think this one's 4. I might have lost count. On your 5th one, go ahead and step that left through. On that exhale, step it through. Good. Again, this first few moments, try to keep your right knee elevated. Your right leg is long. If this is not accessible to you, drop the right knee down. It might not even feel good, and that's okay. A long right leg, letting those hips sink down, feeling what you're feeling, or noticing what you're feeling in your hips. Your right side especially. Your left side might be talking to you. It's like, I just worked a lot. It did, right? It might feel a little different. And when you're ready to drop the right knee down, that's perfect. Go ahead. On your next inhale, shifting your weight forward. Even further into this lunge. Gravity is kind of taking control of those hips. Good. Ooh, that feels good. Let's go ahead and walk those hands back. Again, we're going to shift the weight into the right leg. Left leg is going to extend and lengthen. Feeling a left side hamstring stretch. Again, not too concerned with how your upper body is acting or looking. Taking this for what it is. Again, it's an intense one. And let's go ahead and do that shift forward and shift back. So at your own pace, at your own tempo, forward and backwards. Again, maybe one position feels better or you want to work in one position more. You can stay there, that's fine. Loosen these guys up. You guys in the studio look great. We'll shift back and forth just a couple more times. Again, we're gonna end in that forward position. No rush. I'm gonna do one more myself. And whenever you're ready, plant those hands. Tuck your right toes under if they're not already. Step your left foot back into your high plank. Good work. From here, let's drop the knees to the floor and let's all take a quick rest through the hips. So go ahead back into child's pose. Maybe you want to take it into cobra or up dog and stretch there. We'll just take a few moments. Re-engage with your breath if you've lost it. And take one more breath, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out through the mouth. And let's pop back up into that all four position. This time we're gonna do cat-cows, but with our leg as a little kickstand, all right? So we're gonna kick our right leg out first, so comes out to the side. Now your foot could be flat on the floor, or the inside of your right foot can be on the floor as well. So kind of the bottom of your foot turned up, whatever feels good. And from here, we're gonna take it cat-cow, okay? So we're gonna inhale, the same motions with our back. Just gonna open up through that hip a little bit. And on the exhale, rounding out, tucking the chin to the chest. Really easy, kind of lose your hips in this one, but really focus on, I guess, the tilts of the pelvis, forward and backwards. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to round, good. If you've never done this one, it kind of feels weird. Good work. Take one more inhale. We're gonna end on the exhale whenever that is for you. And we're gonna replace that right knee down to the floor. Same thing with the left side. So kick the left leg out into that kickstand. Again, bottom of the foot or the inside of the foot's gonna be on the floor. When you're ready and stable, go ahead, inhale. And exhale, good. This side feels much better. You might have one side that feels a little better than the other. It's normal. One more in, one more out. Again, we're gonna end on that exhale. Good, replace that left knee down. Gonna go back into our plank pose and working into a pigeon pose, okay? So we know what's coming. Reach those legs back to your plank. Gonna hold here for a second as always, a little sneaky core. And we're gonna go with the right side first. So drive your right knee up to your right elbow. We're gonna kick the right heel underneath the left wrist, okay? So into this pigeon pose. And sit into those hips. So just let gravity take control of your hips. This left leg is long behind you. Your toes do not have to be tucked under. Feel free to lengthen out through your foot if you'd like. Top side of the foot on the floor. Adjusting your hips or your position as you need to. We're all gonna start up nice and tall, and we're gonna gradually work our way down if you can, okay? Holding this here. And if you're able to pop down to your elbows, go ahead. This is an intense pose for your hips. From hip anatomy, a lot of females are a little bit better or more mobile at this pose. I shouldn't say better, but more mobile, more accessible. Just hip anatomy. And from your elbows, some people can reach their forehead all the way to the floor. If you are one of those people, go ahead. Otherwise, stick with what feels good for you. That shouldn't be painful, but you should feel the stretch. So we worked our inner thigh with that kickstand. We're working our outer thigh with this pigeon pose. Good. We're going to stay in this position for about 15 more seconds, so enjoy it. Adjust if you need. And when you're ready, if you are on your elbows, go ahead and pop up onto your hands. Take your time, there's no rush. We're gonna tuck the left toes under when you're ready. And we're gonna step that right foot back into your plank, okay? Use your core. Good work. If we need to roll out or rest, now is your time. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So when you are ready, left knee under the left wrist, and you're gonna kick your left ankle behind your right wrist. Any form looks good here. Again, your right leg is long, your hips are square to the floor. Yep, everyone starts up nice and tall. Hammies and hips, baby. Feels good. And when you're ready, if you want, slowly make your way to your elbows, if that's accessible or comfortable for you. And we'll hold here. And again, if you're one of those people that can bring their forehead all the way to the floor, maybe your hands are stacked. If that's accessible to you or comfortable, go ahead. Now's a good time to reconnect with your breath too. Every exhale, trying to sink deeper. Good. And from here, we're not going to come up onto that plank pose again, but you can come up onto your hands, and we're going to sit onto your left hip. So just let that hip sit on, swing those legs forward. Coming into your staff pose, your seated position here. Let's find our tall, long spine. Now for some of you, you're like, oh yeah, I can feel the hamstring stretch in this position. That's okay. If you have really tight hammies, you're gonna feel it. But finding your tall, neutral spine, roll your shoulders down and back. You're imagining the little string pulling up from the crown of your head, lifting you up out of your hips, right? Hands can be wherever is comfortable, tops of the thighs, maybe they're to the sides. If you want to close your eyes, it's a little easier to center yourself. Focus on you. A nice little rest before we get into a little more. We have one more to get through. Good. If your eyes are closed, feel free to keep them there. Otherwise, you can open them. We're going to inhale and reach the arms up overhead as we inhale. Open mouth, exhale, let the arms float down. Inhale, reach up. Awesome work. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to release. Good work. Use your core inch by inch. We're going to float ourselves down to the floor. Tall, long spine stays here. Use your core inch by inch by inch. Make sure you got enough space on the mat behind you. It's always hard with positioning. All the way down, use your core until your head is the last thing to reach the mat. Good. From here, tuck your knees up to your chest, and when you're ready, in this position, feel free to rock back and forth. Maybe you make some small circles with your knees. Your hands are kind of placed on your shins for those. Maybe you just enjoy the stillness, and that's fine too. I always like to rock back and forth. It's like a self-massage for free. And we're going to try Happy Baby. This is going to be our last true pose that we do for the hips. So if you're familiar with Happy Baby, we're going to reach, if you can, to the outsides of your feet, okay? Your arms can be inside or outside of your leg or your knee itself. I do not care that way, but go ahead and try to reach for the feet. If that is not accessible to you, that's okay. You're going to reach for your shins, for your calves, anything like that. And hopefully you found a comfortable position. And from here, you can rock side to side. But you're pressing your feet into your hands. So this is a very powerful move. Less of a stretch and more of a, I guess, I don't even know a right word for it, but you're pressing your feet into your hands. You're strong. Your toes can be flexed if you really want to get into it. For some of you, you're probably like, I don't like this pose, and that's okay. You can go back into the knees to the chest. That's fine too. Happy baby. When you're ready, go ahead and release your hands. So we're gonna let the legs fall all the way to the floor into our final resting pose, into our corpse pose. I'm gonna pause our music so we can just enjoy the last few moments of class. It's arguably the best time, best part of practice. Now is also a good time if you have not done any poses that you really like to do. Maybe I skipped over something that you're like, ooh, that would have been a good one for hamstrings or hips. Now is your time to do that. Otherwise, we are into our final resting pose. Goal here is to be as relaxed, as calm as possible. Eyes are closed if you feel comfortable. And you're letting go of the control in your body and your muscles. Your feet have fallen to either side of your mat. You relax through your hips. Your shoulders, your chest, your upper back. Everything's melting down to the mat and to the floor. Every exhale trying to sink deeper into that relaxation. Even softening through your face, softening your forehead, unclenching your jaw. Your mouth might even be a little parted, and that's perfect. Complete relaxation. If you did set an intention, now's a good time to check in on that. Giving yourself grace. If you didn't quite make it, that's okay. And recognizing how calm you feel. Taking this feeling into the rest of your day. I wish we could stay in this pose forever, but I'm going to have you slowly open your eyes if they were closed. If you want to take more time here, feel free. For time's sake, for what we have together, I'm going to wrap it up. So again, you're opening your eyes. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. We're going to slowly and gently roll onto one side of your mat, one side of your body. However you get there is fine with me. Take your time. I'm rolling onto my left so I can face my viewers at home. And from this position, using your top arm, mine is my right arm, pressing yourself up into a seated position. There's no rush. Take your time. Sitting however is comfortable for you on the floor. You can be in staff pose or this crisscross applesauce, whatever. Find your tall, long spine one more time in our class today. Roll your shoulders down and back. Going to take 3 breaths. So inhale, reach up with the arms if you'd like. Look up if that feels good. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Inhaling some energy, some positivity for your day. Exhaling. Inhaling, thanking your body, thanking your mind. Option to bring your hands to heart center on the exhale. Namaste. Thank you for joining today. That's all we got. Wellness Week Day 3, you guys. Good work. Tomorrow we have butts and guts. So we have a little lower body to get through. Friday is virtual only. Tomorrow is in studio only. But that's all we got, you guys. Thank you for joining. Rachel, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on.